Hey guys, welcome to Monday Mindset Mojo. Pardon us for running a little bit late. We're kind of waiting on a few guests, getting some things set up in the background for this wonderful conversation. And I'm just glad that you're here. So share out to some friends, invite some followers, put this in your feed because we're going to be talking about the clarity code today. How these top level performers make sure that they wake up every day and go through their day with clarity of mind and a bullseye on their focus. And today we're going to have Jancarlos, Ada from the Bell Awards, and Edison. I don't know if Katie or Silverstripe can make it today, but we're going to carry on just like always. Thank you guys for being here. We'll be here for the next 60 to 90 minutes. And be sure and drop your thoughts in the chat. Drop your questions in the chat. We want to hear from you. So, hey guys, welcome to the show today. It's really fabulous to have you. And we've got, so Jan's got to get a coat on. It's getting kind of chilly there. But Jan, it's good to see you and Edison and Ada. Ada, why don't you take it away and let me, before we go, I've got something to ask you. Give me just a minute. I prepared this just for you guys. I have a question for you before we get started.
Coffee.
Well, I thought I had a question for you. It's not really working too well. Here we go. Not? Yeah, it's not going to work. Well, I thought I had it fixed up, but I didn't have it fixed up. But yeah, you want some coffee, guys? Anybody want some coffee? So I thought I had my video ready to play, but I hope you guys have a big cup of coffee because I've got mine ready to go. But Ada, tell us about your background and what you do on X. A little bit about your account, and then we're gonna go around to the other guys here. Ada, take it away.
All right, so thank you so much for inviting me to this live. I'm actually super excited to be here. It's my first live on X, to be honest. I don't usually put my face on camera. I'm a digital marketeer. I do it for 8 years, and recently 1 year ago, I have established the Bell Award, which is an award for content creators on X. I noticed that there is no award for content creators, and I said, why not? I don't need to wait for anyone to create an award for a content creator. I think they will deserve it. So I decided to work on it. I used my skill of digital marketing. And I just decided to set it up, and I did, and it's actually going really, really great. And that's me for now. I am excited to see where this conversation would go. And again, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you, Ada. One of the things I love about Ada is she posts such really inspirational things about fitness and about lifestyle, about managing your mindset. Just get out there and do it. Every time I see Ada post something, I want to get down and do 20 push-ups or whatever, But Ada, thank you for being here. And I want to hop over to Edison. Edison, tell us about what you do and how you spend your days, and maybe just a quick thing on how you make sure that you start every day with a proper mindset.
All right. Thank you so much for bringing me up here. Okay, I am Edison. I'm a community manager on X. I'm barely up to 6 months on X. I came into X and I decided to focus in community management. Anything community management, community building, that's my area of specialty. And for me, I'm an early riser, so I wake up 3 a.m. and I start my day from 3 a.m. So once I'm up, I just do my words of affirmations. I pray and then check my schedule for the day, and I am set to go. That's what keeps me going. I just make sure, okay, I plan my day, do my words of affirmation, and I'm good to go. Yeah, thank you so much.
Fantastic, Edison. Thank you so much. And I hear a little bit of music in the background. Can you guys hear music in the background, or is that just... Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from. A little bit of music in the background there. I have have to look into what's going on. But thank you so much, Edison. I'll go to Jancarlos. Jancarlos, we had a great conversation, but how do you start your day? What do you do on X? And just a quick thing about how you manage your own clarity.
Yeah, so I've got a bit of an interesting story, personal story, but I start my day every day with a daily writing exercise. I've kind of worked with it for a few months now, but not long ago I actually came across some content from Nathan Barry, and he's the CEO of Kit and founder and CEO of Kit, and he did this exercise where he wrote 1,000 words every day for 600 days, actually, I think was the streak at the time, and he still does it, but when duty calls, I'm sure he misses the day, but I decided to replicate that for about 60 days, and it was one of the most powerful exercises I've ever done. I've always been a writer. I'm 29 now, and I think I started writing when I was about 8 years old. It started with poetry, and I got early into like science, physics, and psychology, and so information, just kind of like getting up in the morning and like immersing myself in not only my own thoughts through my writing template now, but just like trying to ascertain the day is just how I start the day with clarity. The writing template itself is very simple. It's just like a brain dump section, my top 3 priorities, then I pick my immediate next step, and then I give myself a rating on my mood and my health. And then at the very end, probably about the afternoon or evening, I have a section where I can kind of give some reflection, and then also a planning section for my next morning. During the exercise of doing it for just 60 days, I realized that you can write like 300 words and you'll get what's at the top of your mind, right? But like it's around like words 600, 700 that just something magical happens. You run out of the I don't knows and the I don't know, or I'm not sure. You just run out of all the excuses with yourself in that controlled environment, and it's a very powerful exercise. So that's been like my go-to lately, and then I work with AI a lot, but I know that we're going to be talking about that. So yeah, that's what I do.
That's amazing. I wanted to jump in on that real quick because I have a theory that that too many people spend too little time inviting their subconscious to bubble up to the surface. And so the way I look at that writing that you're talking about is a bit of an invitation for to have a talk, a tabletop talk, a coffee shop talk with your own subconscious. And if you don't do that, it's going to kind of stay hidden from you. So, and how long have you been doing the morning writing?
This particular writing, I've been doing this now early October, maybe late September. I've been doing that pretty consistently. So I enjoy it. It's the start of my day. It also acts as kind of like a tracking list, but then I use that to fill in my workspace for the day. So I maintain a digital workspace on Notion, and then I work with AI a lot, and it has all my information. So I actually feed this information to AI and kind of help it plan my day, kind of help it understand exactly what I'm trying to accomplish, things like that.
That's amazing. So guys, if you've ever found yourself stuck in analysis paralysis, what I call constant underthinking, in my career, I've never found somebody that I thought actually thought too much about things, that actually don't think in the proper ways, in the proper directions. They often think about things that have very little value, and they should be thinking about things that have greater value. And so I like to think that true healthy cognition, the way our thought processes work, really lies in leveraging a mindset that fosters some clarity based in logic, stimulates some growth, and then also addresses some of these sabotaging thoughts. And so for a panel today, here in a bit, we're going to talk about some of their sabotaging thoughts, some of my sabotaging thoughts, and hopefully show you guys how to eliminate some of those mental roadblocks, kind of enhance that self-concept game. We had a space Saturday on self-concept. We do those every Saturday at 12 o'clock Memphis time, U.S., for the Exposium, Making Spaces Better Places. It's an audio space on X. But how you can level up that self-concept game, harness some of these personal growth strategies like Jancarlos just talked about, and really level up in business leadership and even relationships and life in general. And so it's great to see you guys here today. I really appreciate Jancarlos, AidaBell, and Edison being here. Sorry that Katie and Silverstripe couldn't make it, but we'll get them on a future show. So what we're hoping that you're going to get out of this is a little bit of clarity, versus chaos, a few marketing mindset hacks, really how do you market yourself to yourself? And I'm looking forward to this conversation on maybe using AI for some of that. I was really fascinated with AI coming out, or at least ChatGPT coming out with tasks. And I have made myself a few tasks during the day, and it tells me, hey, it's time to do this. It's time to sit down and study on a certain area, and how you can use some of that to develop the mindset of a leader. And so let's talk a bit about some mental roadblocks, clarity versus chaos. What are some mental roadblocks that get in your way? Let's go to Ada. Ada, you seem to have it all together, but I guess even you have some mental roadblocks every now and then.
Well, it's never easy, and it's funny that it seems like I have it all together, but well, as someone with ADHD, it's a struggle. It's not easy, it's never easy, but when you go online and when you go on social media, you have to make sure that your chaos or your progress is well displayed online. So the chaos is here, just behind the scene, and everything is well planned. When I get to the chaos level, it's a nightmare. I take a break, to be honest. That's the first thing I need to do in order to get clarity in my mind. Like you get it everywhere. Like if you see the picture behind me, that image.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. What is that?
It's a clarity in chaos. It's a woman.
Oh, wow.
It's upside down, but it's a woman. She's
Oh, I can see. Yeah, I can see. That's fascinating. Clarity in chaos.
Yeah. So that's the chaos, and it's clarity in chaos, and I love working in here because I just see that in the reflection, and it just when you look on art and social media and digital marketing all together, and you bring it down to one thing, which is your goal, which should be your main focus, then you find yourself leading yourself to a path of clarity, because there is no clarity without goal. And if you have no goal, then you're just going around circles that you shouldn't. Then my first advice for the day is find out what's your goal, and from there you start from the end.
I think that's wonderful advice because, as I like to say, if you don't have a target, you're guaranteed to always miss the bullseye. And people get out of bed, just go through their day, go through their life. And people these days seem a bit rudderless. We had a space not too long ago about men. And men, and Edison and Jancarlos can speak to this, and Ada, you've had a lot of experience, with the opposite gender in life, that I love your perspective. Men, from what I see, really do seem to be aimless and rudderless. They're going so many directions, and they're chasing meaning in all the wrong places, and they let society or culture set their goals for them. And so, Jancarlos, how do you work with people, or let's just start out with your life? I mean, how do you make sure that you keep the most valuable goals, the most high value goals, front and center?
Yeah, so just a little bit of a context. I appreciate Ada's transparency and ADHD. I have autism. They're quite similar, just slightly different flavors of ice cream. And for me, I like what you said. You got to know your goal. For me, every day is a different goal. I have my hands in so many different things. Now, I'm not an advocate of multitasking, but I am very much. I've got a finger in each project kind of situation. And so I think everything comes down to your values. It really just comes down to your values. Even when it comes to the conversation about men and things like that, I was shaking my head profusely because as I grew up, and it's where I kind of saw these insights firsthand in school. Men typically, especially in American culture, they assign themselves, or they identify themselves with sports, or weightlifting, or things that are basically, in my opinion, kind of reductive to not only the human condition, but also just like what it means to be a man. I agree with some of the aspects of like, oh, you want to be a provider, like that's fantastic, but there has to be more to it than just that. And I think that's where the issue comes to play. You have to be in line with actual values, not activities. And I think that's the problem. It's activities and behaviors that people assign their identity towards, rather than the actual values that will keep them going through life. An activity can end, an identity can go away, but a value, if it's a good one, is likely there to stay.
Yeah, so I think that it is a values problem. How do you keep your values straight? And then I'm going to go over to Edison.
Yeah, honestly, just sitting down with yourself and identifying what it is you actually value first and foremost. We have a lot of adopted values. My father wanted me to go to college. I appeased him for a little bit, then I dropped out because what I valued was freedom. What I valued was proper education that actually fit me. I had a lot of experiences in college where I would, my chemistry teacher actually. So remember when I was 8 years old, I was studying physics, and not to say that I'm an expert, but it was an interest of mine. And so as I'm in college, years later, I asked a question in chemistry class, and my chemistry teacher had told me that was a question that had to be answered in a different class because it touched more on physics rather than with chemistry. And that was a really discouraging moment for me. I actually dropped out immediately after that quarter because it really only needed him to give me like a 30-second conversation. You know what I mean? But it was one of those moments where I was like, all right, their values are to educate me based on the curriculum, whereas my values are to actually understand life. So it really just takes some self-reflection. That writing exercise that I talked about, it's writing every day will something would have to happen for you to write for a long time and multiple days over the course of months, and you not be able to understand what you actually value. So I think it's just as simple as taking time with yourself.
Yeah, I think it's really a meeting of the committee of the mind, because a lot of people these days, if you ask them what they believe, they may not even know. One of the funniest things that I saw here recently was, and I'm going to go to Edison, is when there are a lot of protests going on, and there was this one protest where the reporter came up and asked a person at the protest, "What are you protesting?" And they looked around and asked a friend, "What are we protesting?" They didn't even have an idea what they were protesting, And so it's really, really essential that you drill down what are your values. Why do those values have meaning in your life? Do a bit of a deathbed check. Fast forward to, I don't know, years 74, 75, 89, whatever you think your life expectancy is going to be. Maybe it'll be 101. And really ask yourself, on this thing that I say I value, would I lay on my deathbed and look at my life and say, you know what? That was really worth paying so much attention to. That was really worth pouring so much of my life into. And then thirdly, and I think maybe most importantly, everything that I had to give up for that focus was worth giving up. And I think you may find that you're giving up maybe time in important relationships, time with your children, time with a spouse or significant other, time on self-improvement, time exercising, time for nutrition, time for sleep. I hear people say you can sleep when you're dead. Well, you don't sleep, you're going to get there quicker than you might want, because it's not true that you're not doing anything during sleep. Sleep, your window of sleep, your time frame of sleep, is some of the most valuable time. Yeah, you can do too much of it. Typically, you get around 9 hours. That's pushing it a bit. But somewhere, 7 to 8 seems to be the Goldilocks zone. And so, poor sleep hygiene, I found, is one of the worst things for mental clarity. Brings a lot of chaos in your life. Edison, how do you keep the main thing in your life?
Okay. How do I keep the main thing in my life? Okay. So, first of all, let me just before I answer your question, let me put in a little story. So, before now, I've done so many things. I've done I've been in the music industry. I'm still doing music, but I have tried to see if live performances works for me. I've tried to go into artist management. I've also tried to go into songwriting, and then I realized that these things doesn't they don't work for me. I just kept searching by doing all of these things, and at some point I realized, okay, of course I have a moderate hearing loss, and it was kind of a barrier. And I took that as though, okay, this is one of the signs that, okay, this is not live music is not what you should be doing. And it wasn't really profitable profits. All right, so that is one of the things that uh, I look at the profit. Is it going to benefit me in the future? Is it going to profit me today? How is it going to be the next 10 years? And that is one of the things I look at, and that is actually what drives my attention, my takes my focus more. I look at value. I look at the benefit that comes with this thing I'm doing. Okay, how is it going to profit me? Because at the end of the day, you find out that if something is not profiting you, if it is not giving you that, if you are not finding fulfillment, that is not really it's not for you. So I would say that I consider profit. I consider the profit. It might be monetary, it might be in terms of value exchange, but that's what I look at. I look at the profit, and I make sure, okay, this is paying, this is what I'll get at the end of the day, and I just stick to it. I just stick to it. Yeah.
Now I'll get you back on screen here. Sorry, guys. Do you find any trouble? What are some hurdles? What are some roadblocks that you tend to run into? You're a young man. You also seem to have it all together. Also, I would guess that you have a really busy life. So, amidst your busy life in the country you live, what are some big hurdles that you have to tackle, and how do you do that?
Ooh. Okay. So first of all, my health. Okay. Yeah, I keep talking about it because I want every young person, uh, maybe of my age or even younger, to take it serious. So I was actually born with mild hearing loss, and trust me, I'm a fighter. Okay, I'm a fighter, and I try to make sure that nothing stands between me and and being successful. So my health has really been like one of the things that the hurdles. Working in the music industry, you need good hearing. Like your hearing health must be top notch for you to be able to function well, even as a producer, even as an audio engineer, a performance musician, and whatever it is. So first of all, it has been my health, and secondly, I would say trying to figure out where exactly this thing is going to lead you to. I came into X as a project manager, and so I did my research, and I went on few calls with people, and I realized that project management wasn't really gonna work for me in X. Coming into Web3, I needed to have an understanding of blockchain, Web3, and all of those things, But having conversations with someone like Ida and other few guys, like I was able to you know, figure out, okay, this is what I want to do. And someone will ask, why would you even, move from project management, which that looks more professional, to being a community manager? And I would say that, okay, I discovered that project management, it's gonna take me some time to be able to fit in to the Web3 ecosystem, and I just had to transit into being a community manager. So it's that clarity, is that clarity. It has been like one of the hurdles, but with time I get to, figure out things, and I'm able to move on. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I want to welcome our wonderful young friend Katie to the live stream today. Katie, it is so wonderful to see you here today. And Katie, we just lost your feed. Oh, there you go. You're back. You're
Oh,
back.
oh no. I'm
Ye-
so sorry. I had to just navigate the time difference because it's 12:30 here in England, and I'm just like, "Oh my God." And then I had a psychic reading, and then I just had to just kind of like calm down for a minute.
Oh,
But I'm
bless your
okay.
heart. Bless your heart. Hey, we should go around and do a time check. In my time, it is 7:30 in the morning. Ada, what time is it where you are?
Oh no.
It's
I'll be
2:30
right back.
p.m.
2:30 p.m. Edison, what time is it where you are?
This is 1:30 p.m.
1:30. Okay, so Ada, your time is what again?
Yeah.
2:30.
It's 2:30
Oh,
p.m.
you're just an
So
hour
when
ahead of
I made
Edison.
those images last night, it was like 4 a.m. But
Bless your heart. And Juan Carlos, Jan Carlos, I think you're just an hour ahead of me. You're in Eastern time, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Well, we
8:34
lost
right
Katie. I hope Katie will be back here in just a minute.
she said
Yeah.
she would be
She looked
back.
like she had something to do. She'll be back.
Okay, she'll be back. Yeah, well, Edison, man, that is so inspiring. That is so inspiring. I love having people on my Mindset Mojo from all over the planet. We've had folks here from Germany and Australia and this foreign land called the United States, and all over the place. And it's so good to have you guys here. Silver Stripe DM me. He can't get the widget. It's a technological problem. He can't get the mic to work. You know, you run into things like that. It's no big deal. But I'm so glad that you guys are joining us. And so let's talk a bit about, well, I had another question for Edison. Edison, what is it that you think differentiates you from other people your age? I mean, you seem like a successful young guy. What is it that kind of puts you head and shoulders above? Why isn't everybody your age doing what you're doing and really moving forward in life? Edison, go ahead.
Okay, so well, I just had this decision. I made the decision that whatever I do, I'll have to pursue it to the end. Yeah, so being a drummer, I can say, like, in my entire state, I'm the only drummer who has an international endorsement, like, in my entire state. So whatever I do, I want to ensure that I do it till, to the last point. I want to, if I am into I'm into community management now, and right now, what I do is that I look out for to see the industry trend, what is actually current in the industry, and I discover, okay, it was AI. Okay, how can I bring AI into community management? And that is, I look out for what is trending. I look out for more upgrades, what to just do to stay ahead of every other person. And one other thing I do is I give my time. I give a lot of time. I've been up since 2 a.m. and just seated at one position till now. And I'm not tired. I find it fun because I'm discovering things. I'm, learning just to make sure that I stand out. Now I don't do this to compete with any other person. It's it's like a culture to me to ensure that whatever I do, I bring the best out of it. So yeah, just giving it time, energy, resources, everything.
I love what you said about not competing with others. I think that it's okay to be competitive. I'm very competitive. But I think that the greatest competitor you'll ever have is yourself. And so the next question I have for you guys, and go to Jancarlos, is in competing with yourself, how do you quieten down some of those sabotaging thoughts and experience some clarity in your decision making? Because I think that all of us have that little voice at the back of our head, saying, help, you're never going to be good enough, you're too tired, you can't take care of this, you're going to fail, you're going to flop, people are going to see you as a fake or something or another, the technology won't work like it didn't work really great this morning. Probably my own user error. I'm not a tech guy. I just do the best I can. I got on here and I was on every screen but this one. My guests could hear me. And I thought, wow, what in the world is going on? Why can they hear me on every screen but this group screen here? And I forgot there was actually a function to turn, I had toggled the mic off on this screen. And so there's automatically a negativity bias that you can't do it, you can't take it, you can't figure it out. And one of my mottos for clarity is this: everything is figure outable. Everything is figure outable. I'm going to get a t-shirt and I'm going to make them available. You guys can get a everything is figure outable t-shirt. But you're going to have struggles. You're going to have hurdles. Edison talked about his. I didn't know that. I forgot that you had a hearing problem and you're a drummer. Man, a musician with a auditory issue, but you're tackling it anyway. And Jancarlos, you seem like you're pretty unstoppable. You have things that you wish were different, but it seems like you just go ahead and plow ahead. How do you do that? Give us some wise advice.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it short because it's definitely my motivation. So additional context, being that I was misdiagnosed with ADHD at 5 years old. I was given Adderall for 12 years, and that's really heavy on the mind, especially being 5, but then being on it for 12 years. So that kind of changed my thinking a little bit. But in the middle years and in my younger years, it also kind of gave me an affinity for other substances because I was trying to explore the negative feelings that I was experiencing at the moment. And so I took it upon myself to try something different. So I've had some issues that were the result of my own choices that were kind of presented to me, if you will. But I still made my own choices, and regardless, though, that led to a lot of turmoil. That led to a lot of issues that I had to overcome, and that's just now part of my past. And I draw on that when it comes to the tough moments because I can tell myself that some of the toughest addictions, because I'm not going to go into detail, but some of the toughest addictions I've faced them and I've let them go, and now they're just distant memories, But on the autism side of things, I love when you bring up obstacle. I actually am putting together. It's something that I'm establishing later on, but it is the core brand right now, and it's obstacle, right? My company is named Obstacle because I believe that you can take any obstacle and you can turn it into an opportunity, right? For me, with autism, and I like Edison's story. He's a drummer, but he has hearing loss. For me, I have autism, but I'm a very organized person. I'm not naturally organized. I just spend my time to ensure that I have all the resources available to me to ensure that I can be organized. And so with that mindset, I take all of the things that I deal with and I turn that into leverage because the way that I look at it in the most optimistic way possible is that the stuff that I deal with and the circumstances that I have difficulty with, there's uniqueness there, right? Nobody else deals with the problems that I deal with. And so I'm an expert at my problems. And so that helps me actually to help other people. When other people are having issues with organization or their mentality or their clarity or, their goal setting or this, that, and the other, I come at it from a place of, yeah, I had that issue like literally last night because I'm autistic, and this is how I handled it, right? So I deal with it with humor, but I also deal with it with a sense of grace because it is the autism that enables me to do that in a sense, even though it causes the difficulty. It enables me to get through it. And because it's something that doesn't go away, I don't have a choice. So it also gives me a lot of patience and grace with other people because I just know that I have the opportunity for expertise when it comes to obstacles. So that's the mentality I keep about it. I believe you have your mute muted, Dr. Heath.
Yeah.
See there? Mute doesn't go off automatically. Got to push the button. All right. Let's see here. Hey, we have Katie. Katie. Let's get Katie on board here. You know, it's technology. What are you going to do? It's just technology. Katie, we were just in the middle of talking about clarity and hurdles. Technology is one of those hurdles. And many time zones can be one of those hurdles. I actually had a Zoom meeting scheduled for yesterday, and I got on the Zoom call at 3:00 with my friend and Fabio Vidigal. And Fabio, great guy, and he has a great handle, Digital Vidigal. We always joke about that, but I got on at 3:00 because that's the time that the call was scheduled, but see, I'm in daylight savings time, and so it was really 4:00, and I thought it was 4:00 for him or 5:00 for him, an hour ahead, and so these time zones kind of get in the way. But glad all you guys are here. I thank you so much. I did want to get to a comment by a really cool account name on X, if I can make this happen here, resizing. Anyone not focusing on growth, says Oddest History, anyone not focused on growth through kindness is doing it wrong. Be kind in all situations and watch the growth and goals take care of themselves, even when you don't know what's happening. And yeah, you know, that's the thing, because you don't have to figure everything out to have progress. You don't have to figure everything out to succeed. Someone was on here, a couple of weeks ago that had a wonderful analogy of building the airplane on the way down after you've gone over the side of the cliff. You know, so you got all the parts in place and you're literally building the airplane on the way down. Silver Stripe couldn't make it today. Again, some technological difficulties. No worries, we'll get him on at another time. Good to see Yarla here. Really appreciate you being here, Yarla. Silver Stripe said, I'm having problems with my connection. He's still working on solving it. And then Singalingables. I don't know if I can get all this on screen. I'll do my best, but I'll read it to you. Great account, Singalingables. Pushing yourself off the past and flipping the mindset from obstacle to opportunity is such a critical tool. Obstacle to opportunity, imagine that. Identify in so many ways with this. I'm autistic as well, selectively organized. Thank you for sharing your story, Jancarlos. And thank you guys. If you have a question for our panel, drop it in the chat. I'll pull it up on the screen. And let's see, Justin, hey, what a wonderful account. You guys check out Justin French's account there. He was talking about this last night. It's so good to see you here, Justin. And then another wonderful account, Creon. Check out his account. Creon's going to be on a future episode coming right up of Monday Mindset Mojo. He said, I woke up early for this. Good to see Edison on the show and everyone else, of course. Yeah, everyone loves Edison's stories. I do too. How inspiring. You know, I wish that I had it all together when I was Edison's age, but I just didn't. You know, just flying by the seat of my pants. Fun, you know. And Edison, I really just love seeing guys your age really get their stuff together. We need more like you. But we haven't introduced Katie yet. Guys, Katie is a wonderful friend of mine. She's a law graduate, a former X Factor UK finalist. She transitioned from entertainment into everything she's doing now, and she's a wonderful advocate championing, I'll get it out in a minute, duty of care reforms through the OWL Foundation. I'll let Katie tell you about that. Katie, welcome. Share with us your thoughts. I'm going to get you up here on the screen because I didn't get your camera set up. There's Katie. How beautiful. Good to see you, Katie. All right.
Good to see you. This is so great, Dr. Heath. Well done. This is brilliant.
Well, share with us, Katie, how you got going and what you're doing now. Because it seems like you've lived about a dozen lifetimes or whatever. But tell us how how you engineered your mindset for the success you are today.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Heath. Just like an artist's work is never done, I'm still engineering the mindset as I ebb and flow through life. And it's been an interesting ride. I never thought that I could never have imagined that I would be who I am today, like back in the day. And what I mean by that, I started off in the music industry, and was in the music industry for such a long time, and then some really not very nice things happened, and I wanted to be able to understand it and then be able to help others and turn that poison to medicine, and actually regain some control and direction of my life. So in typical Katie fashion, I applied for law school. It's just hi singalingables, yay. Yeah, and I was so determined. It was determination, I believe, that got me into law school. And I was very honored to get a scholarship as well, because I left school when I was 16. And then I did like these different like BTEC national diplomas and stuff. But anyway, yeah, I secured my scholarship, and I have ADHD, and so 1 + 1 has to equal 2. And there were so many unanswered questions and injustice in this world that I banged on so many doors of people that should have fixed stuff, but didn't. And so I said, if they won't, then I will. And so I built my company OWL, OWHL, and that stands for Overseeing the Welfare, Human Rights and Liberty for all those in the creative industries. It's a bit of a mouthful, that's why it's an acronym.
I love that. I just saw that last night. What a cool name.
Oh, thank you. But also I've met so many amazing people on here, and I'm part of so many amazing communities, but we're all night owls. That's when I feel like the best work and research is done. And don't get me wrong, it takes a lot of persistence, strength, and courage, and also self-belief, but also accepting that the dark or down days, the yin and yang of life. Don't beat yourself up if you're having a bad day, or if you're not feeling great. If you're getting frustrated, you have every right, and you're allowed to feel the way that you do, and it's okay. As my late grandfather, he once said, the day comes and the day goes. You just be you, and just keep pushing on forward, because I think if you've got that right mindset and that right energy and your intentions from a good place, it's physics, isn't it? It's like it's that vibrational frequency that what you put out, you then receive and believe. And LMNOP, I just thought I'd rhyme.
It comes with being an artist, being a singer.
The hardest thing about being a singer.
Well, I love what your granddad said. That's fabulous, because a lot of people will sit around waiting on 10% of the planet to follow them on social media or to be a fan or something like that. But how many people does it require for you to think that you're making a difference in the world? I mean, why has it got to be 10%? Why can't it be 1%? Why can't it be 0.001%? You can make a difference. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
You guys can make a difference by just getting out there doing your thing, like Katie does, Ada does, Edison, Jancarlos. If there's just one person, why is making a difference in the life of one person not enough? And Katie, every time Katie comes on social media, joins an audio space, joins a video space like this, puts out a post, Katie has no idea how many lives she's making a difference in. I would guess that it's a whole bunch. And so if you get out there and focus on making a difference, then people will show up where the difference is made in their life. And it's good seeing Love here this morning. I'll put her quote up here. Good morning. Thank you for making a difference in the world. All you guys do, look at that. Everybody on this stage making a difference in the world. You guys watching this, you can make a difference by sharing this out. You know, and when you learn something, don't hide that light of knowledge under a bushel. Yeah, there's a scripture there, right? Don't hide that light of knowledge under a bushel. Take it out there, share it with somebody else. Because knowledge shared is life improved. And so share out your knowledge. Katie, you had a follow up there, I think maybe. What other thoughts do you have about, how you get out there and just, I don't know, you just kind of tackle things. You seem pretty unstoppable.
Oh, thank you. I feel really emotional. So apologies. I feel a bit teary eyed. What you've said is just so kind, Dr. Heath. I really, really appreciate your kindness and everyone's support. I was going to say that it only takes one person to believe in you, and that's yourself. And I think that's really important. And you've all got to start somewhere. I compare it to building a house. Do you know what I mean? It's like you got to lay that solid foundation and have a solid structure, but you can redecorate inside as many times as you want. And if you want to be an astronaut tomorrow, nothing's stopping you from being an astronaut tomorrow. Like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, the world is your oyster. Believe and you will receive. Amen and alleluia. Yes.
There you go. And Yarla said, I love what Yarla said. It's okay to feel, but don't let it discourage you. Your mindset can be reset frequently. I reset my mindset every day because, like any other human, I have a negativity bias. I always get anxious when I'm catastrophizing things not going as planned. But why are things not going as planned a catastrophe? And if they are, on a scale of 0 to 10, what level of catastrophe would that be? Well, you might say, well, it's a 5. Okay, maybe, but in comparison to what? In comparison to a true level 10, well, you got to know what your true level 10 is. And once you know what your true level 10 catastrophe is, and make it a big one, because, true catastrophes aren't a cakewalk. Make sure it's a true level 10. Then compare the current supposed catastrophe to your level 10 catastrophe, and you might see it's not a 5, but a 2. Or maybe it's not a 2, but it's a 0.2 or 0.02. Technological difficulties, do I prefer to have those? No, of course not. But it's just part of the gig, It's kind of like having toes. Do I prefer to stub my toe? No, but, stubbing your toe means that you have a toe to stub. Talk to people that have no toes. If you could trade with them and say, hey, you can have some toes, but you'll stub them every now and then, I bet they will take the toes anyway, because they tend to come in handy. I want to kind of segue here to mindset, marketing, and what we call visibility in the AI era, and go to some of you guys. Aida's really experienced with AI. I'm not, just full disclosure. I piddle around with it. It's just, I don't know, like playing a video game to me. I don't know what I'm doing, but I love working at it. But I'd love to hear from some of you guys of how you think that AI, the AI era, can really maybe help people with their mindset, help them with scheduling, help them with, getting their values and their workflows in order. So it's pretty wide open. But I kind of view it as a external mindset device. AI can be a bit of an external mindset device. And Jancarlos, let's go to you, and then we'll kind of work our way around the room. We'll go to Aida next, and then go to Edison and Katie. Go ahead, Jancarlos.
Yeah, I'll try to keep this short because I use AI probably about 4 hours a day in various methods, whether it be voice mode or just casual chatting. And then in the last week I started coding, and last night I made like 6 different apps. So it's like 5 versions of one app, and I'm just trying to decide which one I like better. But AI is incredible. I love it because I I can take a walk to the store. You know, there's a little corner store down the road. If I want a little drink, I can go there, and it takes me about 30 minutes there and back. So what I'll do is I'll usually go there, hop on a voice call with ChatGPT, just kind of speak my mind about something or whatever the case may be, and then I'll have it challenge me. I'll have it, rate something I'm talking about on a scale of 1 to 10, for example, and then it'll give me like a 7, and I'll be like, all right, well, cool. What would turn this idea into a 10, or what would enable me to articulate this a little bit better. So I use it a lot when it comes to trying to express my ideas. I use it a lot when it comes to just trying to understand the best approach to go about a project, especially with all that I have going on. I've got a baby on the way. My wife, she's 38 weeks pregnant. Actually, I think as of this week, she'll be 38 weeks. Thank you. I appreciate that. So every second counts, every minute counts for me. But AI is amazing. I do agree that it is like that external mindset. People will have their own sensitivities and comfortabilities with the technology and like privacy concepts. But I think that for me personally in my life, I gave all my privacy to Apple and Amazon and YouTube and all that. So when it comes to AI, I've kind of given up. I tell it everything. I appreciate the unique insights that I can get from AI that my friends may not be able to give me, whether because they don't want to or because they can't. I can show my weaknesses in my professional sense to AI that I'm a little bit more comfortable than maybe showing my colleagues, because, we experience that imposter syndrome kind of situation, especially me being autistic. But AI is fantastic. In terms of the marketing thing, though, I will say, I wanted to touch on that real fast. I think people can use it to, if you really allow yourself to educate a single model of what you're doing, or create a document of everything that you do when it comes to your social media platform, you can take that, say it's anywhere from 10 to 30 pages, you can take that and splice it up any which way possible, be able to generate all sorts of content for you, be able to generate all sorts of standard operating procedures, just anything you could possibly think of in order to extract just that much more value out of life. AI can do it for you, and that's my opinion of it.
Wow, that is just amazing. And by the way, is this your first child?
Yes.
Wow, is your life about to change, buddy? Katie can tell you all about that. Your life is about to change. Your life is no longer your own, and there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. My son has been the greatest thing that ever happened in my life, the most life-changing thing. It's truly time when you become a parent to develop the heart of a servant. And Love says congratulations to you too. Get her comment on over here. And Creon, congratulations all around. One of the things I love about the stuff that I know is since I have a child, I have somebody I can teach it to. And in teaching my son this stuff, I think it's gone a long way toward him being successful in high school, in relationships, and now in med school. So teach what you know. Teach what you know to your kids. You're really building the next generation. And how are they going to learn this stuff? If we don't teach them, how are they going to learn this stuff? I want to give a shout out to the nearly 400 people watching us right now. Thank you guys. If you have thoughts in the chat, just drop them in there, and invite some friends, invite some followers. We're live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, inside the Mindset Masterclass. Please join the Mindset Masterclass. It is school.com/mindset, school, SKOOL.com/mindset. Free memberships. We dig much, much deeper than this in the Masterclass. So Mindset Masterclass, school.com/mindset. We're also live on X, and holding up the X end of things is our friend Silver Stripe, that wasn't able to make it today, but he is back there supporting us. We appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much. We'll get him on another broadcast in the future. And we're going to be here for about the next 28, 29 minutes. And so you guys do, please drop your thoughts and questions in the chat. If you have something that you're looking for a great tip from, like Jancarlos, like maybe hair care. No, I'm just messing with you. Man, that looks like a lot of work. Or just life management, business management. Reach out to Jancarlos. Edison and I, we can't really help you out with the whole hair care thing. You know, I get up and run a washcloth over mine. But Katie and Ada can talk to you about that. But really glad you guys are here. We're going to be talking some more about connection. And I'd like to go to that now. But how important is connection in your life? Because creators can kind of get to be hermits. You know, you get up and you create stuff, you put it online, you hope people consume it, you hope it helps them. But sometimes, I mean, that can be a bit of a lonely existence, even though you might have a lot of people watching your content. So Ada, what do you do to get out in the real world and make sure that you're connecting with people?
That's an interesting question, to be honest. It's not a one way or one thing question, but I want to start with, if I may, with the conversation about AI, and then I would move to connections, because I think that together you understand how much dangerous and valuable the AI is in order to help you to connect with people. So here is a little story. Over the past few weeks, I'm starting to get messages from my friends, like my actual real friends from like 10, 20 years now. And since I do digital marketing for like 8 years, and I started to do it like with AI, Google has its own AI, which is an LLM called BERT, Bidirectional Encoder. So I recognize the pattern of AI, and since Siri and Apple and everything came in together, they allow you to actually message on WhatsApp with AI. And I'm like, what the hell is going on right now on society, that people cannot actually come up with a normal message and just say things in a normal way? Like, the thing is that if we want to create connection, we need to maintain them, and maintain them on a real level, on a real scale level. We cannot use AI for connections. I don't believe in connection with AI. I don't think that it contributes you in any way. And I think that your message is supposed to be authentic, because AI cannot do it for you. And when I go online and I wanna distribute my message, I first of all think about my target audience and who I want to contribute when it comes to the goal and the topic that I talk about. Who would this message would be most important to? And when you think about your target audience, not in a marketing way, in a way that you actually want to create a value. Yes, I do have a lot of experience in marketing, but at the end of the day, when you stand on a stage or on a podium and speak to you speak to people, you kind of adjust yourself and your attitude in order for it to not be super boring. So when you are let's say when you speak to children, you will not speak to them like they're adults. You would be more patronizing, or more cute, or speaking in a different voice and explain things in a different way. But so you need to tailor your voice and your message to the audience that you want to create value, because you want to deliver the message, and there is no other way to do it. So yes, you think strategic, you act strategic, you create a plan, you act strategic on it, you change it, you tailor it to your target audience, and you try to deliver the most valuable points in the shortest time, because, well, we cannot ignore the fact that society has lost. We never had the ability to concentrate for so long, but as I like to say, DID, when the AI of facial recognition, DID, they create their show 15 minutes and then they take a break for 10 minutes. And that's how they have managed to come up with their startup at the very, very beginning when they did their shows. 15 minutes on a full podium with like thousands of people sitting and looking at their message, only 15 minutes. That's all. Break for 10, moving on. Break for 10, moving on. You need to know your audience in order to connect with them. And that's, I think, for me, helped me to reach so many people.
I love that, and I would add to that, guys. In knowing your audience, the biggest thing you can, for all you creators out there, and there's a lot of creators in this audience. Thank you guys for being here so much. Thank you for sharing out the space. I did want to say real quick. I posted something from X, from Grace and Truth. She's a member of the Mindset Masterclass. Good morning. Thanks for keeping it real, everybody. Keeping it fun, real fun. Hello, Katie and all, rooting and cheering us all on as we hurdle the obstacles with bravery and kindness. So important. And I thank you, 400 folks. There is a human being behind every number of every follower that you have. And a lot of creators, they get into the, it's really called underthinking. You're underthinking your followership, but you don't realize there's a mother watching you, there's a brother watching you, there may be a teenager watching you, and especially the teens out there. You creators, you need to be really, really in mind of that audience. Because these days, a lot of people see things on social media and they just consume it. And I mean, they swallow it, as we say in my neck of the woods, hook, line, and sinker. So we need to be sure we're putting out healthy, accurate information, and we're not getting lost in all the typical social media colloquialisms that are so sabotaging. And you can't get out there really and preach health unless you live health. And so focus on getting yourself healthy before you try to lead, influence, and coach other people, because I think a lot of times people look at, we on stage here and think, like I said to Ada earlier, and I said to Katie, as well as Jancarlos and Edison, they think that you've got it all together just because you're on camera. They don't see that you're kind of like a duck on a pond and you're pedaling like crazy underneath. And that last bit is about being a genuine human. It's okay to be a genuine human and to share a struggle, but then tell me what you're doing about it. Tell me when you have trouble getting out of bed, how are you getting out of bed? Tell me when you're having trouble connecting to people, what are you doing about that? When you're having trouble with your eating, with your fitness, with your sleep, okay, great, me too. What are you doing about it? And so the thing about being an influencer is, in what way are you influencing people? And here's a great influencer, a good friend of mine, Sherry. Late but good morning, Sherry and Barbara and my friend Jane. Yeah, there's Sherry, lead the ladies' locker room on X. And what a great show they have every Tuesday and Thursday. It's great to have you here, Sherry. And guys, we're headed to the 500 mark on listeners and watchers today. And so share it out to some friends, share it out to some family. We are live on X, we're live on LinkedIn, we're live on YouTube, we're live inside the Mindset Masterclass. And hop over there, school.com/mindset. I'd like to talk a bit about some practical strategies for personal growth. And I'm going to share one of mine. I got this for Christmas. I'm not going to really show the title a whole lot and hawk the book. But there are all kinds of these journals. And this one is, it's Daily Strength for Men. I get up, I have a commitment. I get up every day. I read a devotional out of that. It only takes me 6 minutes, but it really just kind of gives me a bit of a direction first thing in the morning. A lot of you guys that follow me, you know that when I get up, I do things like, just really crazy things. I do crazy things like I put on my socks and my shoes. I do crazy things like I wash my face, I comb my hair, I brush my teeth. By the way, I wanted to put this up here before I forgot, because I didn't know who Yarla was talking about. That is luscious hair right there. I thought she was talking about Ada, but I think she may be talking about Jancarlos.
Yeah, she's talking about Jancarlos.
I don't have luscious hair, but I do the best I can with what I have. The luscious hair belongs. And so I get up and I make my bed. If you want to get a win early on in the day, make your bed. It is a number one accomplishment of the day. It kind of puts things in order. And when you put things in order out there, it's really helping put things in order in your mindset. So as far as some practical strategies for personal growth, those are a few of mine. I have the same routine every morning. I do this Mindset Mojo every Monday. Every Monday. It doesn't matter if I'm tired. It doesn't matter if I didn't sleep well last night. Last night, my bedtime, guys, is usually 7:30. I kid you not, 7:30. I get up at 4:30. My bedtime last night was like 10 p.m., 10:15, because I was, getting things ready for the show. Still got up at 4:30. One of the mistakes people make is you make your bedtime and wake up time a moving target. Now, your bedtime may be. Sometimes you can't do anything about that because there's things to do. Don't make violating bedtime a habit, though. But no matter what time bedtime is, get up at the same time. Your brain expects the pattern. Your brain wants to follow the pattern. Your brain wants to honor the pattern. You've made an agreement with your brain about that pattern. That's why it's called a pattern. And so follow your get up pattern. Follow your workout pattern. Don't wait for a preferred feeling to show up before you do something. Do it based on what Jancarlos talked about, what Edison talked about. You find value in what you're doing, and so go ahead and do that thing. No matter the obstacles, no matter the waves of life, no matter whatever seeming gravity holding you back, get out there and do it. So as far as some practical strategies for growth, what are some things here about the next 15 minutes? We're going to be wrapping it up, 15 to 17 minutes, guys, that you guys on stage here are doing, and you folks in the audience. I'd like to crowdsource some wisdom here this morning. That's right, crowdsource wisdom. Drop for the edification, fancy theological word, for the nutritional, the mindset nutrition of those others listening in the chat. What are some things that you do? Here's one thing, Lady Wings, every time Lady Wings comes into space, she writes, love works. Love makes us all family. See, what a mindset hack that is. Just realizing that you don't have to return evil for evil. You can take the high road. Even when somebody stands in your way, address that with kindness, care, space, grace, courtesy, and love. And you never know, you might make a friend. One of the things that I do on X, and I did early on, is when someone was kind of trolling me, I would gamify it. I would say to myself, I wonder how long it's going to take me until they can see I'm not as bad as they think I am. I wonder how long it is that it's going to take so we can make a connection. I wonder how long it's going to take before they kind of become a colleague, if not a friend. And you'd be amazed how often that happens. Why go through life making enemies when you can make connections, and those connections can turn into friends? So there's another practical strategy, is ask yourself, how could I rewire this where this person that is seeming like an enemy really could be an undiscovered friend? I'm telling you, it'll change your life. Take the high road. It'll change your life. Well, let me go to Edison, Jancarlos, and Katie on this question about just a few practical strategies for personal growth. Edison, take it away, my friend.
I hope. Can you hear me?
I can. You're kind of glitchy, but you're sounding good. Your video's glitchy, but what are some practical strategies for personal growth that you found work for you?
Okay. So first of all, I write. Yeah, I ensure that every drop of idea, every drop of plan, every single thing that comes to my mind, I ensure that I pen them down. Because writing has really helped me, give me some sort of clarity. Sometimes it might not be clear when you are putting that down, but coming back to look at it and you are able to, assimilate the whole thing, and you are able to, okay, this is how it looks like. Okay, what do I do after this? And you are able to, gain clarity. This is the next step, and this is how I can, do this. And secondly, I've always had issues of connecting with people. I've always had issues of connecting with people. I was more like I have two brothers, but when I was born, I was more of I spent more of my years staying alone, and I left my parents alone because I'm this kind of person that I love being alone. You can leave me alone for an entire month and I don't have any issues. But then I realized that it was going to be a problem to me, being a community manager and trying to, and even being in the music industry. I needed to connect with a lot of persons, music business executives, and all of that. So I just came up with this plan. Okay, this thing you need to connect with at least one person per week. If you can't get one per week, you make sure you double up the following week. And that was even how I met Ida on Space. I remember in December, I made a post, a wish, a Christmas wish, what I want to achieve on Christmas. And I just wrote there, I want to connect with Ida, connect with social person. I think it was about three. And here we are today. So I try to make sure I connect with at least one person every week. There's this you get to learn from people every time. What if you have a conversation with somebody, you'd realize that, oh, this person has a different perspective of what the person is seeing what from a different angle, and you are able to get this information to be able to build yourself from there. So it has been writing and connecting with people. Yeah.
That really is amazing. I think that one of the best skills that you can have with a new connection, instead of trying to figure out what can I tell them, ask yourself, what can I learn from them? When you meet somebody new, instead of trying to tell them things, ask them better questions. And right now we're live on Mindset Masterclass. You can see Monday Mindset Mojo there. Come and join the conversation. Love to have you guys aboard. But I'd love to go over here and hear from Jancarlos, if you don't mind sharing with us. I think it's an interesting question, or at least it interests me. With the folks you worked with, what are maybe one or two amazing strategies that you've seen or heard some high performers use that really make the difference in their life?
So with the work that I do personally, I'm a clarity coach by trade now. My background is in marketing, but even when I was doing a lot of marketing for over 12 years, I realized that my job was literally just making sure that the messaging between the producer and the consumer was clear, and thus there was still clarity. So I would say that, quite frankly, for the biggest transformations, it really just kind of, I'm a huge believer in kind of, how would you say it, unorthodox or rather, like to say that obstacle is an opportunity, right? Just shifting things a little bit, because when we give power to dynamics as they get presented to us, so let's say you've got your job, you have your kids, you have your day, you woke up at this time, you've got to get to bed at this time. So the way that your day is looking to you is that, oh, I've only got this much time to get this done, and I have to be here at this time, and I've got to do this, that, and the other. And so this mindset that you get in is that I need to rush, I need to do this, I need to slow down, because in the midst of all of that stuff, you're going to approach the circumstance, and this goes for any situation in life. You're going to approach the circumstance already in the wrong foot, because you're going against it. But by going against it, you're literally just giving it power, right? By saying, oh my God, I have so much stuff to do today. I've got to move as fast as possible and make sure that my mind is racing at all times, and make sure that I let things slip through the cracks. if you just slow down, you'll actually have a lot more mastery over your time management. And then as you go about your day and you continue knocking out your tasks, that clarity and that slowed mind starts to just casually, once it's like, okay, everything here is taken care of, you start to just casually think about that next task. It just happens naturally. So I would say that's probably one of the most simple but also life-changing methods to kind of approach like a busy life, if you will, because the moment that you go against the fact that you have a busy life and you try to operate in that busy mode, you're already losing. So
that's amazing. That's amazing. I knew you'd have a good response to that. I want to read what Justin, one of our friend Justin from X said. Thank you guys for joining us on X. We're live over there. Although I'm putting up the Facebook post here, we're live on Facebook. Justin said, happy Monday, X Tribe. Here's today's Sales and Marketing Mastery Minute. Justin's a master of marketing and writing copy and press about that. Take a look at his account. Per Jancarlos BTC, turn obstacles into opportunities. And he really loved what you had to say there, Jancarlos, as did I. You know, I think that you can look at obstacles as barriers or stepping stones. And whichever way you decide to look at it, your brain's going to respond in kind. When you look at it as a barrier that is a threat to you, then your brain is going to leverage fight or flight circuitry that is going to limit your curiosity. It's going to limit your brain's ability to think creatively. It's going to limit your brain carving out pathways ahead for progress because you're running away. You can't go forward when you're running away. And so I thought that was very masterful, you know, looking at deciding how you're going to look at obstacles. You know, does this mean I can anyway, or does this mean that I never could? A lot of people look at obstacles, they see there, you know, I told you. I knew I could never do it. I knew I could never do it. And that's called over-assimilation, telling yourself that you have some psychic ability to know that the future will be no different than the past. If your past has been one of failure and missteps, over-assimilation is believing that the future holds nothing different. So we're going to begin wrapping up here, guys, in the next 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. But I want to hop over here to Katie. And Katie, you've worked in the entertainment industry, and I know you've seen a lot of really, you know, unattractive, bad things. But what are some of the successes or successful mindsets that you've noticed your fellow entertainers use to get them to a higher level of success?
That is a real big question. So the reason why it's a very big question is because, unfortunately, not great things happen when you go up the ladder of success. And what is success? Because again, you're signed to contracts that you don't even reap the benefits of. So the house always wins. But let's stick to positivity. Nothing beats that feeling when you're on stage performing songs that you've written to your fans. And it brings back that connection to the reason why one would do music or performs, that root purpose. That's the best answer I can give, to be honest. And also, it's been a long time since, well, I say that, I performed not long ago because I challenged myself.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. Great job at that. Yeah, Katie, getting back up there, putting it all out there. And so yeah, I think that what I really love about what you just said is keeping in mind, you know, who you're doing this for. And if you're trying to please your critics, why would you do that? You know, they're called your critics for a reason. You know, get out there and try to provide value for people that show up for you and people that believe in what you do and people that find value in what you do. and understand the critics are just always going to critique. That's what they do. That's what we call them, critics. You might even find some useful information there, not everything. I think that dealing with criticism is about like eating chicken. You want to eat the meat and spit out the bones. And a lot of people, when critique comes their way, they try to swallow the whole darn thing and wonder why they're choking on it. Well, it's because you're not consuming it wisely. Ask yourself, is there any value here in the critique? What is it? And toss out everything else. And then, like Katie just talked about, refocus on the fans in your life. One of the most wonderful compliments I got was in my birthday card from my son just last week. He said, thank you for being my greatest fan. And I thought, you know what? I'm glad you noticed, because I really, really am. I remember telling him I was proud of him. And he one day asked me, hey there, Waylon, good to see you here. Waylon the farmer, great live stream he does every 5 days a week. Oh my goodness, 5 days a week. How's he do it? I'm on air through audio 5 days a week. I do 2 live streams, but I don't know about a live stream every day, Waylon. He is a machine, a farmer machine, I tell you. But my son asked me, why, you say you're proud of me, why is that? And I said, well, and I made a list. So know your values, but then know why those are your values. If you say, for instance, that faith is a value, well, why is that? Why is that? How do you explain your values to somebody else? And if you cannot explain them, you probably do not have them. It's probably just nice, pretty, fancy words to say. So get real with yourself doing what Jancarlos. This is what, one of the great purposes of Jancarlos, the journaling. And by the way, I'm going to show you guys what I do right here on my phone. I'm not shouting out because they pay me. I just use it. It's called Mem. I used to have a pen and paper journal, but I journal all day long using Mem AI. And look at that, Mindset Mojo Katie. I love that, man. You got to take a picture of that. And Aida's got all kinds of notes there.
I think we're all with notes and papers and stuff like that. I think this is our way to sort our ADHD kind of mess. How did we start it?
Yeah, we talked about that. So attention tends to be a bit of a struggle for all of us, and I think we kind of all have ADHD, and because it's supposed to be a struggle, attention is about like weightlifting. Have you ever seen somebody go in the gym and you ask, do you have any trouble lifting the weight? No. You have any trouble lifting 100 pounds? No. How about 200 pounds? No. Do you strain more when it's 300 pounds? No. Well, attention is like those weights that you lift. You're meant to have to struggle with it, because hopefully what you're focusing on, what you're attending to, is an important thing. And the important things in life require E for effort. It's not about winning the contest. It's about putting in the effort. And so when it came to what my son said about, being proud of him, I made him a list. And where did I come up with that? Well, I have, not many people know this, or I've not shown many people this. I have in my phone, for my little journaling app, that's what I call it, my journaling app, a whole section, and I recommend this to you parents, okay? Right here at the top says Parker Journals. When something happens with my son, I write it down. Jancarlos, you need to do this, man, I'm telling you. Because you'll forget most of this stuff. Not every experience becomes a memory. And so I write this stuff down so I can remind myself all the wonderful reasons I'm proud of my son. Here's something for your relationships. A lot of people... Yeah, well, thank you. A lot of people go through this with their relationships. It's called source amnesia, by the way. You hear me talk about it on X and my spaces every day, 12 o'clock Central Standard Time, Memphis. Source amnesia. And that is, we have something that really is actually healthy that happens in a relationship, good even. really supportive even, and then we forget about it because it gets covered up with the negative stuff. Write down that good stuff. Make a journal note, review it often so that you can remember why this relationship is so important. Katie, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Before, because I know we're going to be closing up this space soon, and I'm going to go and pick up my little one. I feel compelled to share this with you all that are listening, watching, and will rewatch this. You are the one that has the power, and the power to be, the power to do, the power to reset. And I had a meeting this morning, and we were talking about clarity and clarity of the mind and kind of sorting out those bits. But interestingly enough, he said to me, don't be despondent before you've given it your best shot. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because I was bold and brave, and I challenged something with a big company politely, as my grandmother says. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. But I said, actually, I'd like to request X, Y, and Z. Appreciate your time and attention. Blah blah blah. This was a big thing, and I was successful. So just to kind of they agreed that for what I had spoken to them about and asked for, and it just goes back to what you've been talking about, Dr. Heath, as well, is that your mindset and your belief in oneself. I could have easily just accepted the situation for what it was, but I believed in myself that if I am kind and I believe that this is right and fair and just, then I will absolutely take that power and run with it. And see, look at that smile on my face now. It works. Believe in the power of you. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But yay, that's really cool.
Can I just, sorry, you need to unmute yourself, Dr. Heath.
Go ahead. Yeah, I just said the power of Y plus O plus U. Katie, yeah, great. And Ada, take it away.
I love it. I love it. And I've been on your space last night, and it was an amazing, such an important space that, we have so many people trying to tell us what's good for us as an adult, because they come up from their own things that they haven't accomplished in their life. And here's what I say. Years and years of taking criticism from people, it's as simple as don't take criticism from someone you're not going to take advice from. And when somebody's criticized you, just think about it for a second. Would I actually take advice from that person when I'm stuck in a trouble or something like that? If the answer is no, then his opinion is not important for your own growth. But if somebody is actually criticized you, then don't do anything to prove them wrong. Do it to prove they are not right or they're not wrong. Just do it for yourself, because the only person that you would live and die for is for yourself. Even if you have kids and children and everything like that, if you are not happy, if you're not an happy parent, if you're not an happy mother, if you're not an happy child as well, your surrounded will not be happy from you, and you would disappoint everyone no matter what you do. You have to be happy because you need to spend time with yourself, and nobody likes to spend time with people who are not happy. And at the end of the day, it's our life, and we decide what's our values, who are we going to take criticism from, who will tell us what to do and why. It's very, very good to listen and to understand other people's opinion, but their opinion doesn't have to affect you, but you have to listen to it in order to understand what other people think about your journey. And they would come up with such great ideas that might hurt you at the beginning because you have feelings and you are a human being. But once you take those feelings and actually start to process their thoughts, you would say to yourself, right, this is what the target audience wants from my product. It's not about what I want to bring, but they are lacking this and this and this. Maybe I should work on it because I don't see the full picture that other people can see and contribute my journey. But if this criticism comes from someone, and just as Katie said, it's not what you said, it's how you say it, because some things that could be extremely important and extremely good for your own growth and self-development. But if somebody comes to them and say it like in a way that sounds like a criticism, you would never listen. And this way, we need to understand how to talk to people. Going back to what I said at the very beginning, know your audience and understand how to talk to them in order to adjust and tailor your message and bring value to other people. It's just everything comes together, and I love it, and I live by it. And yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Well, thank you, Ada. Thank you so much. As you're talking, it reminded me of a great quote I actually saw on X the other day. If you wouldn't get up early for it, why would you stay up late for it? So if you wouldn't get out of bed early to hear someone's criticism, then why would you stay up late? Why would you let it keep you up late? See it for what it is, and that is information. Stop calling it criticism and relabel it information. So to pick on my guest here for a moment, if Ada were to say 2 plus 2 is 5, and Katie says 2 plus 2 is 3, and Edison says 2 plus 2 is 37, and Jancarlos says 2 plus 2 is 4, well, I'm going to pick the one that is the most accurate. Everything else is just information. All information is not accurate. Why would you accept that? And so I really hope that nearly 600 people watching live now, we're approaching 600 viewers. I hope that you guys will take this back into your private lives. Use it first with yourself. Don't recommend something if you're not using yourself. Apply it yourself. Prove to yourself that it works, and then share it with one other person. Hey, when I was in your shoes, here's something I tried that worked. I heard it from, this crazy doctor on social media, Dr. Heath, or I heard it from these lovely ladies, Ada and Katie, or this long-haired dude named Jancarlos, or this young, impressive guy named Edison. Let me tell you how I applied what they taught me in Mindset Mojo. Try it out for yourself. So as my dad would say, go out there and put some shoe leather on some of this stuff that you've learned today. In a minute, I'm going to go around to our panel. What's maybe a final takeaway, a great affirmation that folks can really use to rocket fuel their week ahead. And once again, thank you guys for being here. We're back every Monday, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Memphis, Tennessee time. Love to see you here. If you've got a story to tell, send me a DM. We could have you on Mindset Mojo. And we'll, of course, have these guests back. They're really, really wonderful guests. Silverstripe couldn't make it today because of some technological difficulties. He'll get on another Mindset Mojo soon. Hope to see you guys in the Mindset Masterclass, school.com/mindset. Having said that, who wants to take it away? Maybe Edison or Jancarlos, a final parting affirmation before we wrap it up today.
I'll be short and sweet.
All right,
I'll keep it to the...
just want.
Oh, go ahead.
Jancarlos, go ahead, and then we'll go to Edison.
Cool. I'll just keep it short and sweet with the same thing that I was saying. Just take your obstacles and turn them into opportunities, because I think that's something that anybody can resonate with. Whether it be Katie's story, or whether it be the things that Ada is dealing with, or whether it be Edison and his hearing loss, but then the fact that he's a drummer anyway. Or whether it be my situation. There's certain things in life that we can't actually change, and that's okay. All that we can do is say, well, what can I do about it, right? That's literally all that we can ever do, is we can just think, what can I do? And so I would just leave it at that in its most simplest form. There are tough situations in life, but there is always just one thing that you can do at that very moment, and I would just recommend that you focus on that. So,
absolutely. Don't let what you can't do lead you to underthink what you can do. I love it, Jancarlos. Edison, take it away, my friend.
All right. I just want to say briefly, ask yourself, what do you live for? Ask yourself, what's your purpose of existence? And also define your values. with that you can find clarity.
Define your values and you can define your clarity. I love it. So very well said. And let's go to Katie and we'll wrap it up with Ada.
Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, Dr. Heath. Yeah, I wanted to say, I would sing happy birthday to you, but I'll do that on a voice note.
Sing it.
No way. But anywho, so I'll leave you with these two things. Every day is a brand new opportunity to reset and restart. I love that. Mondays are my favorite days because it's like getting a brand new workbook, with blank paper that smells really nice. And you've got like some pencils and stuff. It's not been touched yet. So that's why Mondays are my favorite, because it reminds me of that. But every day is a brand new opportunity to restart and reset. And the other thing I swear by is the bigger the problem, the greater the blessing. If something doesn't work out, look at the positives and the blessing for beyond that. That is, I swear by it. The bigger the problem, the greater the blessing. You didn't get that job because it wasn't meant for you. There's something bigger and more aligned with your purpose out there. What did you learn in that? So, yeah. And then turning poison into medicine and believe in yourself.
Oh, yeah. I've not heard that before. I love that, Katie. Every week, every Monday is a brand new workbook. And so, guys, realize you don't have to live this week by last week's workbook. You can start a brand new workbook. Create your own workbook. And so Creon says he loves that too. Thank you so much. Ada, wrap us up. It's really good to have had you guys. Fantastic. With our nearly 600 people here, we really appreciate each and every one of you guys attending, giving us your time. Thank you so much. Reach out to these folks on X. Reach out to me if you have a question. We're back here in a week's time, but let's wrap it up with Ada.
I'm going to do it quick. I would say that if I could give any of the 500 or 600 listeners in here on that stage anything, I would say, first of all, thank you for watching. It's been such a great time giving and providing you the information that you need. I'm here, and all of the panel, just give them a follow. And we are here. The fact that we have a lot of followers, or we're just humans as everyone else, and we have time for questions. And I would say this, I could leave you with anything, but AI is important, and I'm going to drop one tool at the end of this live show, so just stay tuned. But I would say that on social media, take criticism with a grain of salt, enjoy it, and enjoy the journey, because it's such an important thing to not let anyone bring you down and tell you how to live your life. That's your life. Whatever struggle you're struggling with, you would find on one person that tells you what not to do, 10 that would support you. And it doesn't matter where you are, because everyone would support you if you're in the right environment and at the right time in the right place. So don't let anyone take you down and bring you down. I would provide the tool at the end of this show. So thank you so much for being here. And Dr. Heath, I want to say impersonally, thank you so much. I've been on you for such a long time. It's not an easy time. It's 7-8 a.m. this morning, and I would say that doing that and providing value for other people. Dr. Heath has a subscription on X. Go subscribe, say thank you, buy me coffee. Guys, it's supporting us creating content. So each and every one of us, if we have subscription, it's not about the $3, $5, $7 a month. It's about us creating the content. And it's your way to say, thank you, I enjoyed this. I had a great time. You don't have to commit for anything, but that's actually a good way to say, I've been here, I've done that. Thank you very much. And yeah, so I personally want to thank everyone for being here and making it. And Dr. Heath, I'll pass the mic to you.
Well, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you being here. My coffee is empty. This is my brand new French press. I got it for my birthday, and I'm loving it. And so you guys have a high octane, fully caffeinated day. If not, then drink some decaf. I'll be getting me another cup of caffeinated in a moment. Thank you for coming. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye now.